welcome back, because what we've been able to start to understand about Lions Den is how to actually start to take the next step with it. You're going to hear about that a little bit later today. But realistically speaking, I want to really take us back to last week, because each week we've been carrying off a momentum, and the momentum has been growing stronger. For those of you that have been here week to week, we've grown some massive momentum. And that momentum, yes, has been in the relationship to your money, or relationship to money itself. Yes, that has been the concepts of us being able to really tune in to how we now respond to it. How do we respond to it, and how do we now attract it? But today was more about networking. It was about looking at just here. Look at this group right here. How are we actually utilizing networking? Because everybody wants to take us to an event. Everybody wants to bring us to a call. But how are we actually utilizing that to benefit ourselves personally, professionally, but also financially? So today we're going to decode that. Today, I want to really just break down last week before I get into today, because last week was very powerful for us understanding the persona. Remember, we broke this down. We broke this down into the persona. Who is the exact persona that you're looking for your actual products and services? Like Billy in the insurance game, right? Who's that ideal persona? What is that ideal persona? And not just from a demographic standpoint. I'm talking about psychographics. I'm talking about the way that they think, the way they feel, the way that they actually react, and really getting pinpointed on that. And then also creating your offer. See, most people have an incredible way of wanting to connect with people, but they don't know how to actually package it. You know, my man Cullen will talk about that. Positioning, packaging, and polishing. Being able to actually perfect something that you can actually go out to the market with and be able to transact. Most of us think we're in the game of consulting or coaching, but we're really not, until we have a product, an offer that makes sense. And the last thing that I said last week, which was really, really interesting, which was cultivating your pitch. And I gave you guys that challenge. I gave you the challenge, and I'm going to actually hear from a couple of you from last week that took the challenge on, that wanted to actually get their 60-second pitch locked in and be able to present it. So get ready to the end of the call, because I want you guys to actually use this as a platform for you to now be able to express not only who you are, what you do, but in 60 seconds, be able to cultivate that pitch. That could intrigue somebody. And just to give you a quick heads up, there's going to be a couple people on the call already today that have already told me in advance that are very, very powerful investors that will also be looking on the call for people. I want to open this up in a different way. And today we're going to announce something very, very powerful that Lions Den is doing as its final second tier. Final step next week. 2 years we've been doing this, but now by popular demand, people have been asking for business on a different level, and we're going to bring it to you guys. But before we get there, I want to just bring this back to us. I want to bring it back to Michael on the call. I want to bring it back to Matthew that's here. That's Joseph, Tristan. Tristan, by the way, that was an incredible call the other day. You know, that's powerful. Just on a quick little phone call like that, 20, 30 minutes. But wow, powerful energy. We got Dan in the house. We got Adam coming in. Welbert's in the house, my man. Appreciate you, Welbert. Welbert's an incredible video editor. You got to look up that guy, man. He's doing some of my back-end work right now, and it's incredible. We got Wade in the house. We got Lev, Carlos. We got a lot of people in the house. It's incredible. It's going to be a big one today. And when we start to look at this, guys, I want to welcome everyone. For those of you that have been here for the first time, for those of you that are here coming around the corner, maybe you haven't been here for a couple of weeks and you've been kind of in your own busy mindset, completely okay. Because this is still a place that we can plug in. For those of you new ones that are just here for the first time, welcome, Lions. And why I like to welcome y'all, I like to say it in simply 3 words that the gentlemen know very, very clear. Brotherhood, blessings, and breakthroughs. You see, this group is all about brotherhood. It's about the bond between men. The only time you look down at another man is when you're picking him back up. It's about the blessings from above or the blessings within yourself. Whatever you believe, you must believe, because without belief, you're hopeless. And lastly, it's the breakthroughs. Maybe something I say, maybe something another Lion says, but look for those breakthroughs. There are incredible, powerful men that are on this call right now that are tuning in, spending the 1 hour every single week to chime in, because they understand that it's always about leveling up. You always got to put the ego aside, regardless of where you're at, and be able to hone in on learning from others. So today we're going to break that down, and I want to really hear from you guys. Today's topic was interesting because, chaining off of a lot of the business topics that people have really, like, you guys have given me some incredible feedback on business and money-making activities. And, I'm just a personal development guy. I love the personal development because it's the mindset, it's the motivation, it's everything. But y'all want to know how to make money. Y'all want to know how to actually transact, because that is going to make a big difference in the way, especially with the biggest wealth transfer that's happening within the next 5 to almost 7 years. Like, this is incredible. $32 trillion is being transferred down. We need to now know how to position ourselves the right way. And it really is going to come down to your network. But most people will say your network is your net worth, right? Or your net worth is based on your network. I want to prove that completely wrong today, because it has no matter of your network if you don't know what to do with your network. Learn from my mistake. Learn from my perspective of me for the last 10 years, going out there and connecting with some of the best in the world. And by all means, I learned a lot. But was I able to truly take advantage of that relationship in the right way, in the right momentum, with the right product and offering and pitch that allowed me to then accelerate myself financially to a different scale? Because most of us, even on this call, I'm sure y'all can agree, we want to make impact. Billy knows exactly what I'm talking about because we've had multiple conversations about this. We want to make impact, and we want to do the right thing, and we want to help people, but we also do want to live fairly good and be able to provide and protect, and to be able to then accelerate the portfolio, and to be able to actually create financial abundance, wealth, freedom, true freedom. So how do we do that, though? How do we actually quantify that? So when I say your network is not your net worth, what I'm really trying to say that is that we don't even understand what we have inside of our cell phones. We don't even understand the contact base that is already inside of our database. Everyone is selling you online right now. Everyone is selling you on, okay, here's lead generation. Hey, do this marketing campaign. Hey, this is the way that you can scale your business. But what about the people that you've already met? What about the people that you already have in your database? What are you doing with them? Think about that for a second. I want you to think about that, because I'm going to break that down. Because I could simply go into 3 points, and I could give you some breakdown, like the whole classic vibe of Instagram and all these amazing platforms online. I could say, guys, it's about community. It's about community. You got to find the right community. Where you're going to learn is where you're going to earn, right? Where you're going to learn is where you're going to earn. So you got to find the right community. It could be on this call. It could be at a Grant Cardone summit. It could be at the next, whatever conference that you want to go to. But the community is only one aspect of it. And the second thing is, like, okay, fair enough. I got into the right community, Jay, just like we talked about last week. But now what do I pitch them? Now, what happens when you get good at that pitch too, and you have a 60-second pitch that you walk in and you say, hey, I am who I am, and this is what I do, and here we go. Let's go. So you're in the right room and you have the right pitch. So what's really left now? Well, could it be a system? Could it be a system now to maintain? Because how many times do we actually go out and shake hands with somebody, connect with them, and be able to actually have a system to make sure that I can follow back up? One of the most powerful things that I learned in business, especially spending $250,000 with Grant Cardone, was the game of follow-up. The game of follow-up. Follow-up is single-handedly what it takes to do what's uncomfortable in order to make money. Simple. Don't care what business you're in. Don't care what product or service you sell. Follow-up is the game of touching base and continuously being involved until somebody transacts from a monetary perspective. So today, I want you guys to understand that on average, how many guys do we have here right now? We've got 31 guys on the call right now, and all those that watch the recording after this. 31 guys on the call right now. Did you know that each human being on average has 64 contacts? 64 contacts. Don't believe me? The average funeral attendance is 64 people, statistically, which means every single one of us on this call know at least 64 people. Now, the question is, what are we doing about that? And why aren't we understanding how to leverage that? And when I say leverage, I don't necessarily always want to go to the point of manipulation, because it sounds like that. Leverage sounds like manipulation, right? Like, how do I leverage somebody in my network? Like, there's somebody in my network that I met and I got, but leverage sometimes gives the negative context. But I want you to start to understand is that there's a point of us all connecting. There's a reason that we should be able to network. See, we talk about networking, we talk about going to events, we talk about getting on calls, we talk about getting into groups, we talk about masterminds. But what it really comes down to now is, what are you truly doing to get yourself out there more? What are you doing to push yourself consistently out of your comfort zone now to be able to express your thoughts, to be able to understand that you have people in your contact base right now that you could be reaching out to, and your business could actually double, triple today, tomorrow, within this week. Instead of being sold by a product or a subscription or something that's going to give you, that's my next level, I have to pay there in order to get to that next level. Why not just create it yourself? Why not understand that your own database has something powerful in it? And if we were to actually tap into that, we could do some major damage. And today I want to give you some insights on that. See, the thing is guys, especially as gentlemen, we've lost the ability to connect because it's hard for us to connect. I posted about this earlier today. It was crazy. The post that I posted, it was in 1940, men lied about their age. They lied about their age in order to go to World War II. In 2024, men are lying to become women to win sports. Now, I want us to understand this. This isn't a conversation between man and woman. What this is a conversation about is that men need to step up our game. We need to empower ourselves, not in the masculinity vibe of I'm overpowering, but in the respectful, gentleman-like vibe of being able to know how to harness and connect a family together. This is a very, very interesting shift that we're starting to see, not only with the power dynamics, and I don't want to get too controversial, I don't want to go too down this rabbit hole right now, but I know a lot of you agree with me when it comes to this is a different world that we're playing in. It's a different playing field. For some of the veterans on the call, we grew up in a different era. I throw myself into them because I'm more into that traditional era of actually having that grit and that grind. This generation is not, unfortunately, it's not conditioned the right way. It's not conditioned with the right leadership, and that's why we need to provide this. This is why brothers need to stand together. So when I talk about this, guys, men today, family. We're trying to build family. And then we're trying to build business. And then at some point, we're trying to take care of ourselves. Why I advocate so loud on social media about taking care of myself and doing certain things, regardless of car accidents and therapy now and all the stuff that we have to do. But regardless of that, like taking care of yourself, going and actually doing a massage, going and actually spending some time alone. I was talking to JC earlier today, and I said, JC, I was like, what's so interesting? And I was like, humans don't want to be alone. We don't want to be alone. Now, when I was 17 years old, he threw me into a jail cell. Guess what? I had to be alone. It's a different concept. But I also, in my early 20s, started to say, you know what? I'm going to start spending some time in a hotel room by myself so I can actually just think and believe and be and just in my own thoughts. Because how many times do we actually just take time to be in our own thoughts? For some of my spiritual, biblical men on the call right now, that is a true blessing because you've already connected. And I'm on that journey as well too, Billy. We had that great conversation, and I want to follow up on that. And the more that you start to understand your spiritual energy, the more that you start to understand your next steps in life, you start to really focus on the man that you want to become, the man that you want to be known for. So it's not just about connecting with somebody at the bar and shaking a hand and being like, hey, what's up? It's about how is somebody going to speak about you when you're not there? How do you act when nobody's watching? Integrity. How do we start to understand this focus that we've lost energy? We've lost energy in the concept of being the truest selves, on actually networking and connecting in a way that builds lifelong partnerships. Why I keep bringing Billy back up right now is because Billy and I, we connected, just at a bar here locally in Tampa. We were just there, and I always like bringing the story up, Billy, because just within a moment, it was just, hey, how are you? Great connection. Okay. From there, it was, yes, an exchange of contact, but it was the follow-up that now took us to here for Billy to be on the call, for the brotherhood to continue, for us to now having deeper conversations about life. One relationship can change everything. One handshake can change the trajectory of your life. The real question is how do you find that one handshake? How do you actually get yourself into a room that can help you? Just quick little story. Yesterday, I was at lunch, and this is a man that got connected with me, mutual friend. He's, an incredible guy. His name is Marcin. Incredible if y'all know him. He connected us. This is, another connection from Gary Cardone and all these amazing connections that Marcin has connected me with. He connects me with Calvin. And we had a great lunch a couple of months ago. We got connected, and then boom, we jump on another lunch yesterday. I go out to Union. It's a different restaurant. I've never been there. I know the owners, but I've never been to that place. They're the owners of the Boulon and the Ferbici and everything like that. So I show up, and Calvin's mindset was very determined. He called me on lunch for a reason. See, this is interesting when you have people on higher caliber than you as well, too, inviting you to have conversation, because this is different. It's different. He's a power player. He ran a $250 million company. Very, very big difference. Big builder here in Florida. But what was interesting about that conversation, though, is that he brought me there and he had an intention with the conversation. He had lined up 3 young guys that he knows, 3 individuals, me being one of them, in 3 different avenues to where he can scale his now company back up to $100 million after the crash happened and kind of buried him a bit with some of his high-end projects. And now he knows the exact methodology, and he knew the exact positioning of sitting there with me. Now, for example, me walking in there, I'm just there to just connect, collaborate, see what I can provide as well, too. Absolutely. You want to raise capital? What do you want to do? How much are we looking for? Let's go. But he took it to a different networking standpoint because he had an intention behind what he wanted to actually connect for. He sat there and he said, look, there's 3 of you young guys. I need one of you is going to be my boots on ground, my developer that's going to be the hands on, right there. The other guy who I'm going to introduce you to, Jay, he is the market research. He's the one that's going to know exactly where to build, what to do, and how to do it. And he's like, Jay, you're coming in with the operational excellence that you have to be able to market us and package us and get us out there in the world so that we can start raising capital, not like Grant Cardone in a syndication-like model, but in a way where we're doing exclusivity for the premium quality homes that he's building here in Florida. And he's doing incredible one. Actually, we're going to tour it next week. I'm going to send you guys some pictures on that one. It's a really, really beautiful one. But this conversation only could be stemmed if the networking aspect allowed us to have an intentional thought. So the next time you're sitting down with somebody, the next time you're having a conversation with somebody, start to actually figure out, what's my intentional thought? What am I actually trying to do here? What am I actually trying to produce? What's the end result? And it's okay for it to be business. It's okay for it to be transactional. We all want transformational, which I love because we want to help the world. I get it, gentlemen. But you can't help the world until you help yourself. And that's the biggest lesson that I want every gentleman to know today on this call. Is you got to help yourself before you can help somebody else. Being in Vegas a couple of months ago too, seeing, Brad and seeing, Richie and seeing all these speakers and these power players and being involved in these incredible environments. It's awesome. Feels great. But what do you do with it? What's the point of it? What's the point of spending hundreds, tens, thousands of dollars getting into the right rooms, but not knowing what to do in that room? I made this mistake for so many years. So many years I kept doing that. 10,000 here, 20,000 front row, blah, 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 blah. Let's go to the next one. Let's go. Oh, I'm gonna have presence. I'm gonna have presence. Oh, it's how to get omnipresent, right? It's how to get in front of. It's not. It's actually not. Spending money on yourself is the way that you now need to understand, what is it that I'm spending my money on? What is that actual system that I can build? The duplicatable system now that I can actually build, not just your business, going back to your contact management system. How are you now getting into the world of being able to connect with somebody? Great. But being able to harness that in a system now that's going to allow you to know what to do with that. Going back to my 64 comment people, right? Like 64 people on average, people know, right? 64 people. If you knew that 2 of those people could actually make a difference in your well-being, 2 of those people out of those 64 could actually set you free. 2 of those people, if focused hard on and understood exactly who they were and what you're looking for to provide them, actually executed, could change the game. But we're sitting here and we're trying to focus on marketing and this and all these different things. But at the end of the day, the tech stack, the tech behind it, with all this AI running around and all this thing, it's going to keep improving. There's going to be, you know how many swipe ups I get? You know how many things on Instagram I'm getting with like, oh, it's a new software. It's a new software. Oh yeah. And we test trial half of them, to be honest. JC knows. I'm like, okay, just give it a run. $200 a month. Okay, let's try it out. Let's see how it is. And then we'll cancel it or we'll keep it or whatever. We can do the test trial. But why do the test trial? Why do the test trial? Learn from the understanding of systematic follow-up. Follow-up. Why you guys are on the call right now? 32 of you on the call right now. It's the follow-up. It's the system. It's the text messages. It's the emails. It's the stuff that you probably maybe want to unsubscribe to because you're like, yo, why does Jay text me so much? I heard actually Grant say that once, and I want to bring that up because I want to give him a little bit of that credit. But at the end of the day, it is. You have to have a system. Most of us are thinking that we can just create this whole thing without a duplicatable system. And we're trying to put ourselves as the entrepreneurs in the first face value of it. And we're putting all the pressure on our shoulders, especially us men. We're so good at it. We're so good at it. We put all the pressure on and then we know how to exactly diffuse it very quickly because we suppress it. We don't ever deal with it. We're so quick to suppress it. You can have a drink at the bar. You can go chill out. You can just, go on a date with your woman and you can completely just reframe your mind because you can suppress it. That doesn't mean that you've taken care of it. The trauma is still there. The trauma from even childhood, the trauma from the teens, the trauma from earlier, our mindset has to come out. That's why we do things like this at the Lion's Den. We do this because we want to open up that energy. We want you to be able to communicate and connect and be able to share to even strangers. That's the most powerful thing you can do is use this as a platform and a stage to be able to express yourself. Take a minute, show who you are, just give you some real feedback on that incredible pitch that you had. Because remember, we talked about pitches, and I know you weren't here last week, but I want to really just give you some value here. The way you started that with, I apologize. Now I want to decode that. Your message was so pure, brother. Your message was so pure and so right, but you started with, I am going to apologize because I have not been here and I haven't been here with the Lions. You see, I want this to be an example, and brother, I want you to, just understand that I'm going to use you as an example here because this is the mistake that we make to not hold our fucking value. It's not an apology. The only time you apologize is when you've done a physical damage to somebody else. What you do is you switch it in language wise and say, I acknowledge. I acknowledge that I've been occupied and that I have not shown up. Now, see, this is a powerful moment for a lot of us because a lot of us need to start understanding that we put so much weight on these shoulders. As men, we start to put it on. Oh, I'm not making money right now, so I'm this. Oh, I got to figure out my life like this. Oh, and we start. It's not the weight you carry, it's the way you carry it. It's not the weight you carry, it's the way you carry it. So, my brother, as much as I love the inspirational message, which was very powerful for a lot of men on this call, I want to also decode that so you can own your own fucking worth more, because you told me stories about bringing wine to Kevin O'Leary. You shared some incredible stories with Dwayne Wade. You have some powerhouse energy that needs to be brought to the limelight the right way for you to own the man that you are. What we are now doing with Lions Den is incredible because these weekly calls that we do are phenomenal. I love them, and I'm going to continue showing up no matter what, like I've done for 2 years, as JC mentioned. But what I wanted to do with the initiative from Keyshawn, and of course a lot of gentlemen that have messaged us directly, is we are going to do something once a month now. This is being announced for the first time. We are going to do something once a month now that is going to be a separate call than this one. This one is very oriented towards bringing us all together, having some notes, having some teach outs, and being able to really hold ourselves accountable every single week to show up as the men, the lions, and the kings that we deserve to be. But this once a month call that we now are going to be introducing for only a hand select group of qualified people that are in the business realm, that own a business, that are currently doing a certain amount of volume, and that actually want to step in, is that exact thing. Being able to be on a call with my network, with my people in my society, in my area, coming onto a call for you to be able to present yourself in 3 minutes. Whatever product, whatever service, whatever investment opportunity you have the ability to now have my network be able to now look at those products and services. I want to be able to do this because this was the premise of today's conversation, was your network isn't your net worth. Why I said that specifically because of what we can actually do with our network. We don't know what to do with our network. We're finding people, we don't know what to do with it. Now, if I give you a platform where you have to perform at it and you have 3 minutes to now speak about it, and you have potential investors, if not partners, that are going to align with you, that could be an interesting play. It's not only just getting in the room now. It's not only just having that pitch. It's being able to actually represent yourself. That's what I asked you guys this week earlier. On Monday, I asked you that. What's the answer? It's kind of like a discrete answer, because the answer D was, yourself, right? Outside of everything else. It is yourself. Because you are the man that's going to overcome the barriers. You are the man, as well said before this. You have gone through things in your life that nobody will ever understand. This is called human nature. But if you as a man can also understand those things that you've gone through and that experience that you've experienced, and you can bring that into fruition now based on the services and products that you have and the collaboration of the right community, ooh, that's where things get interesting. I want to say thank you. I want to appreciate your time. Not just my time, but your time, your specific time every single week that you can dedicate 1 hour to jumping on this call. Not only just personal development, not just networking, not just these labels and terms that we throw around. It's about connecting with the right people. So I want you to take a look at some of the faces on this call, especially the ones on video. Take a look around. One connection, one conversation could change the trajectory of your life. And I'm a true believer of that. I want to thank you all for being here tonight. I want to thank you for tuning in to incredible things that are happening in the back end of what Lions Den, Next Gen, and the Jada Hunt brand are doing in the back end. So for those of you that are paying attention and staying in tune, love it. JC's put some incredible links for you guys to join some of the next steps on what's happening. But ultimately, it comes down to you guys. shaping your worth, understanding who you are, and being the man that you deserve to be. So, gentlemen, Lions, Kings, thank you for being here today, 8 p.m. And I cannot wait to see you next week, Thursday, 8 p.m. EST, only on the Lions Den. God bless. Take care.